Rumors are continuing to fly with just a couple days until the highly anticipated winter meetings down in Florida. We got a couple new updates as far as Kyle Schwarber, some out-of-house players that the Phillies are potentially interested in, and a lot more from Jeff Passan, Ken Rosenthal, some of the biggest names across Major League Baseball's reporting space. This is the newest episode of Phillies Digest today. My name is Luke Arcaini. Thank you guys for joining me here again. A couple big updates, but I want to start it with a team that the Phillies traded with a couple times last season, a player that a lot of Phillies fans have interest in, the Phillies have interest in, but it doesn't seem like that will be happening anymore. According to Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic in his newest article, released just about an hour ago, saying all those fans waiting for their teams to acquire one of the Minnesota Twins' stars probably can forget it. The Twins do not anticipate moving center fielder Byron Buxton or right-handers Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez, according to league sources briefed on their plans. Minnesota's goal is to keep those players, build around them, and compete in the year 2026. Excuse me, a little under the weather right now. Excuse me. Thank you. For weeks, the Twins have been in an uncertain state, trying to determine their course. They tore down their roster in July, and when the family ownership announced the addition of multiple minority ownership groups in August, part of its motivation was to infuse cash to help pay down the team's $425 million debt. Wow. Finances presumably remain an issue, but trades of players such as Ryan and Buxton would further alienate the fan base. Club officials believe the team is talented enough to compete in the AL Central, one of baseball's weaker divisions. They recently hired a new manager, Derek Shelton, and now that they have the clarity from ownership, they believe they have mild flexibility to make additions. The Twins need bullpen help after trading most of their relievers at the deadline, most notably Johan Duran to the Phillies, and possibly a first baseman. So basically what I'm here to say is Byron Buxton is basically off the table. One of the right-handed outfield bat potential options for the Phillies obviously would have had to come in a trade involving one or multiple of the Phillies' big prospects. The price is pretty high for Buxton, as he's one of the best right-handed outfield bats, or was available. Maybe if some perfect deal came along for Minnesota, then they would still consider it. But once again, according to Ken Rosenthal, it seems like the Twins will not be trading Byron Buxton or either of their good right-handed pitchers. A couple new updates from Jeff Passan of ESPN this morning as well. Big article with, I believe, Buster Only. And so this is kind of from their article here. This is Jeff Passan. When does the Kyle Schwarber dam break? Several teams' fortunes, from Philadelphia to Cincinnati to Pittsburgh to Boston to Baltimore to the Mets, depend on where Schwarber goes. The belief among teams is that it will take 5 years to secure the 32-year-old Schwarber, and once that happens, perhaps sometime during the meetings, teams will start pivoting and the action will pick up. If Schwarber goes early, everyone is in play. Otherwise, the second tier of hitters includes infielder Jorge Polanco, JT Realmuto, and Japanese corner infielder Kazuma Okamoto, and teams believe there could be momentum towards deals with them. And now that I'm going back on it, I believe that I actually may have completely forgotten the one screenshot that I meant to put in here, but we're going to get to that in a second. I apologize. If Schwarber signs and unclogs the market, expect other teams to fall, either toward the end of the meetings or in the weeks leading up to Christmas. Japanese right-hander Tatsuya Imai could wind up with a big market team on the East Coast, and the New York Yankees with Garrett Cole and Rodon expect to miss our season. Mets and Philadelphia are landing spots. Oh, no, I was right. Here it is. All three have interest in Cody Bellinger, too. Cody Bellinger, kind of why I'm here today for this video. Phillies reportedly have interest in the veteran outfielder, Cody Bellinger. Obviously, a left-handed hitting bat. Phillies are trying to prioritize getting a little more right-handed heavy in their lineup. Obviously, they have, Harper. They have potentially Schwarber coming back, but that's really, they have a lot of lefty bats in their lineup right now. They're looking for a big, right-handed bat. Their options are a free agent, JT Realmuto, a Nick Castellanos, and Alec Boehm, who could potentially be traded. Castellanos probably won't be back. If things were to go how people are potentially expecting them to go, Castellanos probably won't be back. Boehm is potentially on the trade market, and there's no guarantee that JT Realmuto will be back, although it does seem likely. So there are 3 of your best right-handed bats out. And yes, a need for a right-handed bat is big. But Cody Bellinger would be a good add as well. 29 home runs, 98 RBIs last year, 334 on base percentage, 160 hits, 90 strikeouts, 480 slugging percentage last year with a 125 OPS with the New York Yankees in his age 30 season. Cody Bellinger, it feels like going into every offseason, the Phillies are somehow linked to Bellinger, whether it's a trade, free agency, some sort of thing. But this does sort of feel to me like this could be more of a potential pivot to Bellinger if Schwarber does not return. I wrote a big article for Crossing Broad. I made multiple videos on the Schwarber situation. I just don't see a way Schwarber leaves. Maybe I'm blind here, and I understand the Red Sox have interest. The Reds have interest. The Pirates have interest. The Mets have interest. That's a smokescreen to me. But I find it very likely that Schwarber will return. It seems like, from every article we've read from Rosenthal, Passan, Heyman, everyone said that the Phillies' priority to start this offseason is to get Schwarber and Realmuto back and then work from there. Would they be able to pay Schwarber, Realmuto, and Bellinger? That I don't know. That's something that the Phillies would have to be willing to do. Granted, they are going to need an outfielder. If obviously, assuming Nick Castellanos is not on the Phillies next year, which is the safe assumption right now, you're sort of heading into next year with Brandon Marsh, Weston Wilson, and Justin Crawford. They're going to need another outfielder. Harrison Bader's a free agent. There's a chance Bader could return, but if Castellanos goes, you're left with Marsh, Wilson, and Crawford. Wilson is not a starter. Marsh ideally doesn't play every single day. And Justin Crawford, while there's a lot of hype around him coming up to the majors, he still hasn't proven it yet that he can do it in the majors. So an outfielder is needed. Is that outfielder Bellinger? It could be. He's a good bat, obviously left-handed, but he's a veteran in this league. He is a riser to the moment, and he is a very proven hitter across Major League Baseball. Once again, feels like a potential pivot move to me, but I definitely think it's interesting that the Phillies, are on the table for Bellinger, and I know there's a lot of comments and stuff right now about a lot of these videos are just rumors, nothing true. Yeah, because nothing true has happened yet. I can't come on here and just not make a video for 2 weeks. You guys need to know about the rumors and these reports and what's being talked about, because a lot of these reports end up coming true. Yes, there's stuff out there about the Phillies sign Alonso and Bellinger and blah, 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 blah. But, these Schwarber updates are important. These JT updates are important. Their interest in Cody Bellinger is important, and that's why I'm making these videos here for you guys. But, biggest thing from this, the Phillies are in on Bellinger, and seems like Byron Buxton will not be a Philly, nonetheless be with any other team, basically, because it doesn't seem like the Twins are just, the Twins are saying they're going to try and compete next year. We all know the Twins won't compete next year, but they're just saying that. So nonetheless, I'm thankful that the Phillies organization is not ran like the Twins organization, to say the least. But this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini. Smash that subscribe and like button down below if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.